last days of 2006 were cold and snowy ones for Boulder, Colorado. The small city was pummeled by a series of severe storms, totaling nearly 5 feet of snow in the month of December alone. One storm in particular, the blizzard of 2006, dumped 26 inches. For many Boulderites, the weather was a tiresome ordeal, causing flight cancellations, tedious commutes, and other inconveniences. Over 4,700 travelers were stranded away from their families for Christmas. Instead of excitement and jubilation, the weather threatened utter disenchantment with the Christmas season. But others saw the storms as a new beginning, forever remembered as the birth of something very special. As the snow continued to accumulate, one stranded traveler was formulating an idea in his mind. An epiphany struck Father Ice. He would take the toy foam he's purchased for his nieces and nephews and construct them into a skeletal structure. Once complete, he covered the skeleton in cotton, and a Yeti was born. Father Ice looked deeply into his son's eyes, and he knew he had done a good thing. Eddie was born on Christmas Eve, the magical day before Jesus' birthday. Like Jesus, Eddie is a Capricorn, making him a goal-oriented achiever by nature. His persona is the ideal one to manage or administrate any ongoing project and to be practical and efficient at it. The Yeti's dad felt a magic in Eddie, that he possessed some otherworldly power that would someday place him alongside the great prophets of Earth. To understand Eddie, you must first understand his father and creator, Father Ice.
From day one, I always loved the snow. I love the cold, I love the snow, I love ice. It just makes me feel at peace. For real!
Father Ice had a special affinity for snow creatures, which was the reason he felt his vision of building the Yeti was a sign from above and must come to fruition. Eddie and his dad were fast friends, spending hordes of time together.
So me and Eddie, Eddie and me, we just love kicking it together all the time. I mean, time just flew by. I just wanted to teach him everything I knew, and he just soaked it all up like a sponge. He just had a knack for doing anything. He was ill at everything. Everything he tried, just money. I think that's when I started to realize that he was so lucky. As a single dad, I mean, of course I worried, like any padre. But, you know, I knew he could take care of himself. I knew he could hold his own.
Well, day after Eddie was born, Father Ice brought him over to my house for Christmas. And I have to say that he was probably the cutest thing I had ever seen. Those were the early days, the good days, when Father Ice and I first brought Eddie outdoors. We thought it was important for him to get to know his heritage, his roots. So we brought him out into the snow. I started to notice the good luck sort of seemed to follow Eddie. Wherever he went, whoever he was with, every debate, every challenge, every argument, he'd win. If Eddie was on your side, you'd win. You can just imagine my excitement when good things started to happen to me just by being around him. That was it. Yep. That was when I first felt that I kind of wanted Eddie to be a little bit more than somebody just to play in the snow with. I must admit that he intimidated me a little bit in the beginning. But then one day he said, "Want to get lucky?" And that was it. He was is just so handsome. Things escalated pretty quickly after that. They did. Quite quickly, indeed.
Man, Eddie. That little guy just had no trouble making friends at all. I don't even remember how it happened, but he started getting involved in sports and games and stuff like that. He always excelled. But I mean, the problem was his little friends just didn't really cut it for him. I mean, they had the strength of like pipe cleaners, for instance. But I mean, so he started seeking out like bigger, stronger, you know, more athletic people like me. And to be honest, I did start hanging out with him just because of his luck. Do I admit to being his friend? Yeah, I do. Do I feel weird that I'm his friend? No. I mean, come on, Eddie's the shit. Eddie's something else.
At some point, not sure when, but he started to realize just how lucky he was. He really wanted to give back to the community, give a little bit of himself. I mean, he was always a gentleman, doing things like opening doors for people. Then he really started going above and beyond. I mean, he started doing everything, from shoveling the sidewalks of little old ladies to organizing canned food drives for the homeless. But after a while, he started getting bored with things. Nothing seemed to be enough of a challenge for him. That's when we had to break it off. He just started hanging out with the wrong crowd.
Oh, the Yeti? First time we met him, we were chilling at the Scum down there. Now, I ain't never met a Yeti before, but this guy knows how to party. Dude, we started hanging out with the Yeti all the time after that. He drew us into him. Oh man, we would do crazy stuff. We could get into all kinds of trouble. We'd run-ins with the cops. Sometimes we had to show a couple meatheads what the real deal was. But no matter what the problem, it always worked out whenever we were with him. That Yeti was a lucky dude. Always got us out of trouble. But I'd be a liar if I didn't say he caused his fair share. So then there was New Year's. That was some next level shit right there. The Yeti had this great idea to build a snow staircase over in the neighbor's yard so we could have this like dual party, like twice the party. The Yeti's a genius. We got that going on, and me and the Yeti decide we need to run the beer pong table for the rest of the night. Because I knew that if the Yeti was on my team, nothing could go wrong. I knew we would win. We're unstoppable. So we start just gunning them off like no issue. So even Peyton Manning shows up to this party and thinks he can just walk up to the beer pong table and even rival the Yeti. What do you think's gonna happen? He had no idea what he was getting himself into. So, I mean, the Yeti's whooping up on Peyton Manning, and he's getting all upset that me and the Yeti are just dropping ping pong balls all over him. He can't touch us. Like, what do you want me to do? So we'd barely even begun to celebrate our victory in beer pong. And the Yeti, bam, he's just gone. Gone. But the next morning, we found him posted up by the hot tub, probably checking out the ladies all night. But he didn't look so hot.